Hey, welcome to another episode of Three Conservative Gimps, where we give you the information for you to make a good decision at the ballot box. So we give you all the information that you won't hear from the mainstream media. So we give you the straight poop, and that's what we're all about. So let's get the ball rolling with my good friend all the way from Muskogee, Oklahoma. Let's welcome Lloyd Mendenhall. Welcome, welcome.
Hey Art, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good,
Just
good.
busy flying drones today and pulling my hair out trying to get videos working on.
Well, no, I wouldn't recommend that because you're kind of a little thin up there. You ain't
Yeah,
got a
I
lot of hair
am
you
a
can
little,
afford. Yeah, see, you ain't
little
got a lot you can
thin.
afford to, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
All right, let's welcome all the way from the blue state of New York. Let's welcome Charles Gillespie. Welcome, welcome.
Hey, Art and Lloyd, everybody in the chat.
hey Charles.
So here it is looking gloomy, like we might get some rain finally, which is good.
God, I wish we
Out-
would.
Yeah. So Florida looks like they're going to get hit with the at least a category Cat 1 hurricane.
Well, if it picks up, has it picked up yet to Cat One, or is it still just a tropical
It
storm?
may still be a
Tropical storm.
tropical depression. It's tropical depression Debbie, which is about to become a big Deborah.
No, it is a tropical storm. A depression is when they first start out. Then it
Ah,
goes to
okay,
tropical storm. Then it goes to a hurricane.
alrighty.
I watch the Weather Channel.
Ah,
No, I
yeah.
don't. I watch. I watch Ryan Hall y'all.
Ryan Hall, y'all. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
Anybody says y'all is somebody I feel I can trust.
mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
know,
How
he's
about in
actually
your
And
good.
neck of the wood, Charles? How's it there?
well, I was going to say, and if this something happens with this storm and it takes an unexpected turn west, it could be Debbie Does Dallas.
Oh, there we
oh, that's
go.
good,
There we
Charles.
go. That's
Yeah.
right. All right. Wow, we got a lot in the news today. Instead of where's Waldo, it's where's Kamala? Where the hell is she taking a chapter from the Biden playbook by hiding, just like
Hasn't
Biden
she been
did?
hiding this whole last 4 years? I mean,
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Well,
right.
hey, it worked for Biden. He hid the whole time before he was elected. So if they figure, well, but I did hear, I just saw something, notice that Trump has agreed to debate her in September with conditions,
yeah.
which I think no CNN or whatever.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. So,
Well, they can't use CNN really because Trump is has some sort of a lawsuit against Stephen Papadopoulos,
Oh,
who
okay.
works for CNN. So that whole thing
Yeah,
creates a
yeah,
conflict of interest.
okay, okay.
yeah. Fox
Supposedly,
News.
it's going to be on Fox with a
That,
live auditorium audience.
good,
Oh,
good.
wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. That should be
You
interesting.
know, that will set up us. We'll have memes for the rest of the year after that. After
Right.
that, because we'll have the Democrats will be putting out their memes of Donald Trump, but we'll have the word salad. And that's really unfair because Kamala doesn't speak well enough to make a good meme. That's the problem.
Right.
Or a
Right.
good salad.
Or
Yeah,
good salad either. Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. Maybe with a little bit of
Oh.
arugula in that word salad, maybe that might be a little more wholesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, she's been hiding out. What else has been happening? Art.
Well, more reports coming out about the Secret Service and how they've really dropped the ball on that. And man, uh, how a 20-year-old got up on a roof and got a clear shot and of the president, and it's just damn lucky that Trump turned his head
It,
at the right moment.
I agree with Trump. It was an act of God. That's the only reason he
Yep.
survived that.
Hmm.
And uh, and I did see that. I guess finally they uh, 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 I don't know, a GI Jarhead that's in charge of the Secret Service now. Uh, if you look at him, he's a jarhead. He's a Marine. You can tell it. You just look. There's just a look about him and an arrogance about him. Not that
Uh-huh.
all Marines are arrogant, but although they do have a lot to be, they got reason to be arrogant.
Yeah.
I'm not cutting them on that one at all.
Right.
But he finally came out and did a press conference, and for once, I guess the backlash was so bad that he finally quit trying to put it off onto the police department and said, this was our screw up. He
Huh.
finally, we should have secured that building. We should have made sure, which means the guy that was the Secret Service agent in charge is going to be fired probably.
Right. Hmm.
Hung out to dry.
Right.
Even though they didn't have enough people to cover it. You know, but and when they asked him, is it true that you yourself, as acting or as deputy secretary of the Secret Service or deputy administrator, whatever you are, his deputy position when second in charge, that you actually did not, or you turned down the request for more agents, and he wouldn't answer. He says, "Well, we're looking at all of this."
Uh-huh.
Everything else he gave a fairly straightforward answer, but when it came to that, just because
Uh,
that meant he actually had to take responsibility for some of this. Because
right.
supposedly he's the one who did not authorize uh, Trump to have the extended security. So,
Right. Well, actually, it would be his previous boss who's no
well,
longer
no,
there.
no, but that's not what I'm saying. Yes, the previous boss, but this guy himself actually signed off and said no.
Ah,
He
okay.
actually, this is what they were asking, and he refused to answer. But
Uh,
it was, because yeah, somebody at the top might say, but chances are that's usually handled by mid-level on down. They say, all right, well, and then if it's something they really got to have, then they'll go upstairs. But for a standard operation, they don't have to go to number one and number two. But in this case, number two supposedly that was what was asked by him. Is it true that you refused to give them the extra manpower that they requested? And
right.
he refused to answer. He says, "Well, we're still looking into what
Right.
all our failures in procedures were." So,
Hmm. Hmm.
so yeah, uh, you know, so he's
And did you see the interview with Dan Bongino with Megyn Kelly? I mean, he really ripped him a new one. You know, said how that should have never happened. You know.
yeah, no, it
It,
shouldn't have. There's no reason for that to happen. I mean,
yep.
not like that.
Hmm.
Did you know there was a second one, a second attempt
No. No. When
yesterday?
yesterday?
Well, a possible attempt. They ended up, there was a woman from Texas that got into the event and they managed to find her and arrest her. She was armed and she had been making threats
Uh,
against Donald Trump.
oh boy. Was she from Dallas?
I don't know if she was. I don't know if she was just from Texas. Hell, that could be anywhere.
Yeah.
That is
Well,
one big ass state. That's the biggest.
yeah. Hmm.
But
Well,
yeah, that I saw that yesterday evening. That at that event they arrested the woman. She was armed, so she got a gun in there.
oh
Uh,
boy. How
yeah,
she got past the magnetometer? That is something. Wow.
somebody's screwing up. Somebody's doing
Yeah.
something. So it's starting to, you know, and this I didn't read this on, uh, J6RS or some weird. No, this was on Fox News.
Oh, okay.
So I
Okay.
read it on last
Wow.
night. Yeah.
Hmm. Well, and that really goes back to the question of where the blame should be on the Democrats. The last 8 years, how they've been poisoning the airwaves with their comments
Yeah,
about
yeah,
Trump. Oh, he's a threat to democracy. He's an existential threat,
yeah, yeah,
and I'm even Maxine Waters was making comments about if you see a cabinet member, tell them get in their face and
yeah, yeah.
tell them you're not
No,
welcome here.
they got blood on their hands
Yes.
because that fireman got killed, and they're as responsible for this, if not more,
Mm-hmm.
because of their rhetoric. And
Yeah.
but yeah, there's I'm telling you, it's starting to really worry me because they're trying their damnedest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They really are. I mean, how just like that one yesterday, how in the hell should you get in there? And the biggest thing is that building. That is hell. A damn 10-year-old that plays Call of Duty would know to cover that damn building.
Right.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Wow.
that's it. Yeah, it's just the incompetency. And actually, I saw who was it? Actually, I saw it was the dinner that the presidents give with the press corps dinner.
Right.
I saw one from 2015 with Obama,
Uh-huh.
and he was making jokes about stuff, and he was making jokes about it looks like the Secret Service might be finally starting to get themselves straightened out. And I can't remember how the rest of the joke was, but it had to do with, it's when they were hiring prostitutes and doing all that. So
Right.
they've been having problems for a long time,
Oh yeah.
and they should have started and started completely revetting every single person in the Secret Service.
Right.
Unfortunately, the bureaucracy that our government has become, people don't get fired now; they get promoted.
Right. Or they get a lateral position.
A lateral position, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
at
yeah,
least if it's yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. So hopefully when Trump gets in, I hope he gives Ramaswamy a position on the cabinet. He'll
yeah.
go in and he'll start,
Well,
whittling down the size of
yeah,
the
and I think and they may because they've done it in the past, they've added and they've taken away. They may actually eliminate a couple of cabinet positions.
right.
Because they can do that. That's they've because uh, it's not always been the same number of cabinet members. So I think
Right.
each president can decide that let's merge these two because
Right.
the Department of Jock Itch Inspectors doesn't need it needs to be with the health department,
Yeah.
not with the man boys department.
Right. And how about get rid of the Department of Homeland Security? They could merge that with uh, some of the other departments.
Well, and the Department of Homeland Security was a good thing, but it's failed in its original intention. When it was put together, it was put as a sort of clearinghouse for all of the different law enforcement, LEO agencies. Whether it be the CIA, the FBI, Secret Service, the U.S. Marshals, or any of the in the I mean Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. I started to call them.
Yeah.
We had a name for them in the service. It's bat, and think about what the F means because they could usually do it. The bat frigs. Okay, that's a nice way to say it,
Right.
but that's what we called them when I was in the service because they screwed up everything. But
Well,
but
now
it was
they're
supposed to be in a communication clearinghouse so that they didn't have to
yeah.
jump around and they'd all communicate. The problem is they're still compartmentalized, if not now, uh, uh, if not worse than they were back then because
Right.
it's like on this they didn't. The snipers didn't even have friggin' radios. They were receiving text messages. So this guy's looking through a telescope. Does it come across his scope? No, he's got to look down. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, oops, he already shot. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was such a Charlie Foxtrot in the worst way,
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
you know, but the good thing is he's not getting by with blaming the locals. You know,
Right.
because he finally said in that and he got asked some tough questions in his press conference. No, we didn't have that radio frequency,
Right.
and no, our snipers didn't have radios, or they
Uh,
would have heard it.
right.
Had they had the radios, they would have at least I mean, I like it in the old days when they talk into their cuff like this.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
what the hell happened to that type of stuff?
Yeah.
Uh,
Mm-hmm. And so, where was this second attempt at?
it was whatever place he was doing yesterday. I think it was back in Pennsylvania.
Oh, was back at Butler.
No, it didn't go back to Butler. I can't remember wherever he did uh, his
Okay.
thing yesterday. He did one yesterday, and I can't remember where it was at, but and it's been pretty. I think it's been shut down pretty quick. They're not talking a lot about it because I think they're trying to. I think they're at that point now. They're starting to suspect. Ooh, this might have something to do with insiders.
Uh-huh.
So because how did again? Let's see. It was in Atlanta. That's right. It was in Atlanta. Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was in Atlanta. She came from Texas and managed to get in, and she'd been making threats. Now I don't know if she got in or if they got her before she got in, but she made it that far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait for a call. Right. Yeah. But it's something seriously wrong with our system. And it's already cost at least one man his life.
Right.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, go all the way back to the guy in Georgia that set off that, or the pipe bomb that was set off in Georgia in that park. And of course, Secret Service, all of those guys, they were jumping on and said, "This is the guy who did it." Turned out he wasn't the guy.
Oh, was that the
He was a security guard or
Olympics?
something, huh? Yeah, it might have been
That
at the
was,
Olympics yeah,
yeah,
when they were in Atlanta. Yeah, so
right. And they got the wrong guy, and they never did catch the guy that planted that bomb, did they? Lloyd.
you what? No, I don't think they ever caught the right guy,
Yeah.
but they were able to clear him. Now Joey. He held accountable also is trying to get Trump killed because he's. I'm trying to see what he was. Because I brought up the thing that happened yesterday, so that was because I
Uh-huh.
read it on Fox News, and I will try and find it
Okay.
later and have it maybe for next week. So
Okay.
there again,
Um.
sometimes they jump on the story before it's all clear, and they have all the pertinent information. And this is
Mhm.
like that couldn't have been too late last night because God, I fell asleep at 10 o'clock and I got up early yesterday.
Well, at least I got to bed at midnight last night.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But boy, I had chicken enchiladas, and evidently it didn't agree with me last night because I was so bloated. I was tossing and turning, and I finally sat up and I just dirt.
Oh,
And I go, oh,
yeah.
felt better. Went back to sleep.
Go buy you some Gas X,
Yeah.
or a generic brand of them because sometimes I overeat and it's like, man, if I don't get some of this cleared off, I'm gonna hurl, and I
Yeah.
take those, and after a little bit, I start burping and stuff, and it kind of clears out. So it's good to help him break that air pocket there that's stuck in his mouth to make you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, Joey, they have, but This was on, and I can't remember where it was, and I apologize. I probably shouldn't have even mentioned it because I don't have, but I read it last night, and I was like, yesterday evening after I got in.
Hmm.
And it was on Fox News. If it come
Okay.
from anywhere else, I would have said, yeah, that's bullshit,
Yeah.
But, and it wasn't on YouTube. It wasn't on any of the others that I follow. There you go. Get
Yeah.
some gummies, Art. That'll do you some
Yeah.
good.
Go talk to my niece. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, no, it wasn't down there, Joey.
Yeah. It's the upper
No,
tract that causes the
it
problems
was
from overeating.
it was my gut.
But
It was like,
although he is true because it does open up the whole pathway for everything to,
Yeah.
you
yeah.
know, once you got to clear the lower before anything in the upper can go back through it. So yeah,
Yeah.
But
Coffee
So
enema.
yeah, there you go.
now that
So
we've
the
gotten
job
completely off
numbers
track.
came out Friday, and it looks like not good news for Bidenomics.
No.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we lost some jobs
Yeah,
this
and not
last.
only that, and the stock market went ape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they went
those
ape shit because they're concerned that the Treasury Department isn't going to lower the interest rates soon enough to help with
right.
this.
Mm-hmm. No, Joey, we haven't
No, I
heard.
hadn't heard that one,
No.
but I admit I haven't really. I didn't watch a lot of news this morning or today.
No.
I which
So with the job numbers not being good and inflation still going,
yep.
so I was talking to Lloyd about I went to a birthday party last night. A good friend of mine, he's a musician. His band was playing last night, and I did post a few photos
Yeah, I saw that.
on Facebook. And he just turned 66. So he's only a year and a half older than me. And so I had dinner there. I had chicken enchiladas, and they were pretty good. But the chicken, normally when you have chicken enchiladas, the chicken is shredded, but
Yeah,
this wasn't shredded.
chunks,
So
chunks.
chunks. So I think
Yeah,
this was like frozen shit that they bought, and they just
hello, Mr.
cooked it.
Skyfly, cool cat.
Hey,
Yeah.
Joel. So ate that. That was pretty good. Oh, and then we got Ronnie. Hey, Ronnie, good
Hey,
to see
Ronnie.
you. God bless America. And so I had a couple drinks. My first drink actually was a freebie because the waitress was so slow. She forgot about it, and she goes, "This one's on me." I go,
Yeah,
"Oh, cool."
that's
So
nice.
I decided to have another one about an hour later. So Lloydosaurus Rex. Okay,
Yeah.
we got Cool Cat and Steve Knowles. Anywho, so I got the bill because I was going to leave right after the second set,
Right.
and I got the bill, and it was like $24 and change. The one drink and the enchiladas. And I'm like, oh shit! And I had $30, cash
Right.
with me. I just said, here's $30. Keep the change. That's the tip. I'm like, oh, holy shit! Just one meal and one drink cost me $30. Holy shit! And their service was really slow last night.
Now, was this a club or was it a restaurant that had live music or what was it?
It's a club
Yeah.
because
See.
they have volleyball court outside, and
Yeah. See. I well, I got a frog in my throat there. But yeah, I've noticed where, they mix drinks and cook at the same place, unless it's like a, say, Chili's or something that is they're main thing is really their food. And they
Right.
also have a sports bar section, plus they serve drinks. But yeah,
No,
I've
that,
noticed a lot of places that we have this place called Bricktown Brewery that it used to be our Applebee's until they shut down, and so they got this Bricktown, and I've just been scared to go in there because it's predominantly a brewery, a microbrewery, and I don't drink, but they're supposed to serve really good food. They got a great menu, but I don't trust places that that predominantly are known. Their predominant thing is for their drinks and for
right. Uh,
it's like were those enchiladas cooked in a microwave? You don't know because you didn't see
I
them.
have no idea, but it was
Yeah,
a little bit on the spicy side. So,
yeah, yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. When I see that, it's like who's telling
Well,
the poll and whose poll is it?
yeah. There's a you. I watch. I look at probably four different pollsters a day
Uh
or
huh.
every other day, and not all of them go by the call-in polls. Some of them are what they're called trackers, in which they track related to each individual area of how they went, 4 years ago, 8 years ago, and what the current call-in polls are leaning, and then they put that
Uh huh.
together to put the possible. And so far, and I just saw another one come in today in which if Donald Trump wins the popular vote, which right now he's at 50 to 51% on the popular vote polling,
Right.
that he'll end up walking away with all but maybe California. Actually, I saw that California could be flipped.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. If he's able to flip California, then
It'd be
she's
game over.
cooked.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's game over.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's just not going to track that way. But a lot
Yeah.
of the tracking, like I said, I don't go by any one poll like that knucklehead that came out and says, "Well, I've got everyone right since 1984, and I'm telling you, he's going to lose." You know, I don't
Oh,
believe it. Yeah,
was that Carvel?
no, it wasn't Carville. Carville talks like that, yeah, but no, Carville's a knobhead.
Yeah.
He's just an idiot.
Yeah.
Nothing Carville says makes. I mean, it's just he. I mean, he was giving out those polls back when Slick Willie was running.
Right.
His relevance to anything now is he's less relevant than I am as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned. I
Yeah.
don't
Oh,
there's still
and take into account a lot of people lie to pollsters
they
because
do.
a lot of people don't want to admit that they're going to vote for Donald Trump.
Well, yeah, and that's why some of these really good pollsters that have been pretty accurate over the years, give or take. Uh, that's why a lot of them are using tracking. They're a trend tracker rather than they put in the poll numbers, then they go back and they follow the trends from 4 years ago, 8 years ago, 12 years ago,
Uh
and
huh.
they start looking at those the trending and see how it plays out. And right now they're still. I mean, if you just look at some, ABC comes out and says, "Well, Kamala's winning," Well,
Yeah.
that's not the whole damn story. She
Yeah.
might have
Well,
won against, maybe uh, like what is that one group? White dudes for Kamala?
oh
Really?
yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that.
What the hell?
and then they had white women for Kamala.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There a lot of people got pissed off at Trump for saying what he did at that black journalist thing, where he says, "Is she black?" Funny that she's black now, but she was Indian up until she became the presumptive nominee for the Democrats. Now she's needing the black vote,
Right.
and
Well,
she
and
is.
that's where Trump is going to lose.
No,
You
no.
see?
Listen to me.
Okay.
because he asked that question, they got it out of the way. Now people
Oh,
are starting to
okay.
go back and look because she is not African American. She and putting her her kids her step kids actually that
Uh,
happen to be of their Indian race. Her in her ancestry she's got white,
mm-hmm.
she's got East Indian, and she's got Afro Caribbean.
Okay.
She's
Yeah.
Jamaican.
Yep.
She is not.
Jamaican man.
Her family didn't. She wasn't a slave here.
No.
Her families
No,
weren't
but
slaves.
she's descendant of slave owners, so
Exactly,
yeah.
because they were Indians, and so you know, you've got to start. You got to understand sometimes why Trump does this. He throws it out there. He takes the shit for the rest of us, and then people start looking for themselves, and that's when you start finding out that
Mm-hmm.
up until this happened, she's always claimed she's Jamaican, Indian, and Asian, born in America.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, she's and you say and the term for anybody that is of that, and you probably need to go. You probably have to find out what sort of Jamaican she was, because there's the ones called the Afro Caribbean, which are African Caribbean, or she could be part of the Jamaicans in that area that might have, some of the native islander blood in her.
Oh,
She
okay.
may not have an ounce of African blood in her, you know.
Uh-huh.
Just because she's Jamaican doesn't make her a black person, So it's saying that Trump's going to lose. No, that actually has
Well,
helped him.
what I was trying to get at is if he stays away from making that an issue, if he stays
Oh no,
on
yeah.
the
Well, did you
the top,
understand why he did that in the first
yeah,
place?
I think you made a good point where he just wanted to get it
Well,
out of
it
the
wasn't that. That her first question, she attacked him.
way. Uh-huh.
She went on. She asked, and he said, "I don't have to sit here and, you know." It says, "Why should I answer your nasty question? You didn't even say hello to me or hi to
Yep.
me." They jacked him around for 30 minutes,
Yeah.
because,
It
and
had
then
some
they made it so his headset wasn't working, so he couldn't hear what they were saying, and and then they started out about, "Well, you're attacking black women." He said, "But is she black?" Funny how she was Indian up until she was going to be, trying to get push Joe Biden out to get the Democratic says. Up until then, you look at everything she talked about, she was Indian and
uh-huh.
Asian, and yeah. So, uh, and if you listen to the whole thing, it's like Jaybird says, they loved him. A lot of people were cheering him on. It's just
Uh-huh.
that if you listen to the gal, because there was three black journalists there,
Yeah.
and
Harris
the one on
Faulkner was one of
yeah,
them.
Harris Faulkner was one of them. So, and you
Uh-huh.
listen to some of the stuff she said on the Five and stuff like that,
Hmm.
but and he didn't say she wasn't black.
Uh-huh.
All he did was say, "But is she?" It's
Ah,
funny that she's now claiming black, whereas before she claimed Indian, as she shows her Indian children that they have.
right.
So it's funny that they play. He just accused her of playing the race card. Is
Right.
all.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
because that was a question about it, well, what about her being? Are you attacking her because she's black? No, I'm attacking her because of her. So that why would you ask a nasty question like that? It's just no. It's about her policies. And besides that, how do is she black?
uh-huh.
And they were thrown off, and of course, they took the sound bites and left out the
Mm-hmm.
questions.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why I said
Yeah,
she's the first Hawk Tuah candidate that
yeah,
we've had.
exactly. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and you're right. The closest she's ever been to black was Willie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
And,
just like
and not Slick Willie, but
no,
the other
Willie
Willie.
Brown.
Willie Brown and
Yeah,
his
yeah. I
yep.
saw, and if you go back, there's a lot of images of her when she was young and was, dating and hanging out and having an affair with him, and like,
Yep.
oh my
Mm-hmm.
God,
Yep.
yeah. But no, I don't think Trump did anything wrong. He was doing the best he
Okay.
could. He was in
That's
he was
good.
in a very he was attacked right off the bat. She didn't even say, "Well, thank you for coming." He says, "Besides that, weren't we both supposed to be here? Where's she at?"
Uh-huh.
She didn't show
That's
up.
right.
So
Mm-hmm.
he had to
Well,
go on the defense,
right.
and
And
best
my
defense is an
point
offense.
was, if Trump just stays on point, he'll be fine. But if he
Yeah,
starts going off and starts attacking her, that's
yeah.
just going to
Well,
galvanize her side. So
I was
you make a good point, and
I was going to bring up something. Do you have
okay,
you
go
did
ahead.
you ever read or do you
In
get this?
crimes, I haven't in a long time. I used
Well,
to
I
get
get
it.
one every. They have a great article if you can get hold of it. It's called National Conservatism, Freedom Conservatism, and Americanism.
Hmm.
Okay, and it talks about the conservatives of from the time the Cold War conservatives.
Right,
Really from like Kennedy's era. Actually, let's go back to Eisenhower.
right,
Eisenhower Nixon, and all the way up to Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was the last of the uh, Americanisms or American conservatives. I can't remember the term, but Americanism is there, and
right,
they believed in America. They believed in the defeat of Soviet communism,
right. Hmm.
and they weren't above having some of the people that might be uh, dictators in their country, as long as they
Right.
weren't Soviet. They did start promoting democracy, but
Hmm.
they were willing to work with even like the guy from Spain. Oh, that was a dictator at the time.
Oh, Franco?
Franco, yeah, yeah, he
Yeah.
worked with Franco, but you know, but they one of the things about Americanism in those days was, you know, they believed in virtue. They believed in a moral, they believed in a moral compass. Okay,
Right.
then you get what's called the second wave, and that's from that goes from and a good example is H.W. Bush, George H.W. Bush. He was more of a second wave. Same with John McCain. Same
Right.
with Nikki Haley,
Uh-huh.
Bob Dole. They were
Right.
that second wave, and they weren't so they weren't fine. They don't see those that are still in it. They don't see that we're fighting for the soul of our country. They think we're fighting for our freedom, but we can overlook some of that stuff. Whereas now we've got the third wave, like myself and like Ronnie and Joe. Some of us that are more, we believe in God and country,
Right.
and a lot of them, God doesn't. In the second wave of God doesn't play a part.
Right.
They're not concerned so much about the moral character of our country or the moral
Mhm.
fiber of our country.
Right.
And we are what's called, good or bad. And William F. Buckley was he was an Americanism, but he also was more of a what's called nationalism. Where I'm considered, and I'm sure that I know Joe and Ronnie both would be considered as nationalist conservatives, and
Uh-huh.
which means we believe that our country is morally going in there. And Jay Bird, especially, Jay Bird's a great example of a young
Right.
man that's that way. And that second wave is where we're having these problems, and I recognize myself because I believe that without you know I believe without moral guidance we'll
Right.
never will fall, and that's their
Right.
whole point, and
Hmm.
but it's a very long article, and I am very lightly touching on part of it, but yeah. National conservatism, freedom conservatism, and Americanism. Americanism was during the Cold War. That was Cold War conservatism.
Uh-huh.
Guns,
And
liberty, and God. There you go, right there.
And Imprimus comes from
Do what?
Imprimus comes from
I should know,
Hillsdale
but
College.
who?
Hillsdale College.
Oh yeah, Hillsdale College. Yeah. That's.
Yeah.
I thought you mean, did I know what it meant? It's a Latin word, and hell, I
No.
don't speak Latin. But
No,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
because that was one
And
of
the guy that
the.
wrote this is John Fontaine, and it's
Yep.
he's very. It's a. I get these at least once a month, maybe twice a month. But
And Thomas Cranowiter is also
yeah,
writes for him too.
yeah.
He's
But
one of my
this is,
Facebook friends.
if you can get online and find it. You know,
Hmm.
this is really a good read. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. Actually, I'm
Right.
on that last page there. So
Right. Hmm.
it really it because I notice sometimes you and I have a difference in the way we look at things. You
Right.
know, and as I said before, you know, me being a minister, I look at things differently. You
Right.
said that's part of the reason you bring me on is because I
Right.
provide that balance. You know,
Hmm.
and
Workout started. First move, dynamic upper back stretch. One set is 20
what the
seconds.
hell is that?
Workout
I don't know.
paused.
Me?
Oh, you know what? It's my watch.
Oh, okay. So I figure, what in the hell? Because my chat had dropped off of because I have it.
Workout resumed.
Yeah.
3,
Okay.
2, 1, go.
Hey, hey. All right.
Workout paused.
Yeah, if I could figure out how to stop it.
Workout ended.
There we go.
There you
Workout.
go. You have to have a watch tell you to exercise.
Well, it does that every couple hours. It says, get up and exercise, you know? And it goes through my phone, too. There's an app.
And that's why I like these kind
Yeah.
mechanical watches. You know, I have an Apple Watch, but I got tired of the damn thing waking me up at night because my heart rate was getting too low.
Oh, well, that might be a good thing to have.
Yeah, but it's annoying as hell. If I'm going to die in my sleep, just let me go, you know? I mean,
Well, fortunately, mine hasn't done that yet. So, but
yeah.
it
Yeah.
does keep track.
Well, part of the problem was I had the heart rate set at too high of a setting, so I had to go in there and drop it down to where
There
a
you go.
resting rate was more normal. It had it set like
Right.
a sleeping resting rate was like at 90. I don't think so. Hell, that's me out getting my fat ass out to the mall.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
like, okay, so I dropped it down to about 50, and that's about as low as it needs to go. Or 55, I think.
So, we got the Democrat National Convention coming up in about a week and a half. So that'll be interesting to see. Yeah, we got Greg Horvey.
Hey, Greg.
Welcome up.
Hey, Greg.
And so that'll be interesting. Oh, Harris is going to announce her running mate in the next couple of days. So it'll be interesting to see who will be. It might be Shapiro out of Pennsylvania. I think he's the front
He's their
runner
pick
there.
right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Because at this rate right now, some of the latest polls show her losing Pennsylvania pretty badly.
And well, Buttigieg or Booty Butt, he's in the running, and and then there's Kelly out of Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did not see
You're right.
Polis on the list. Yes, they do, Joe, because they are the anti-Semite party, but they will, you know.
Yeah, you're right, Shapiro. And that's why they don't think Shapiro because he's Jewish.
Yeah.
So,
So you think it might be Pete?
God. Oh, you know, in some ways that would be great because I'd like to see his ass just splattered across the losing side because he hasn't. What has he done?
Oh, he's the one that he's really screwed up on that. The train derailment in Ohio.
No, what has he done before that? What has he done
Oh,
over
he
the
was
last?
the mayor of Gary, Indiana.
Oh, he did actually win an election.
Yeah, he was mayor.
Okay, all right. That's as
Yeah,
far as he went though. Everything else he touched has gone to hell, right?
yeah.
Every
Uh
time
huh.
he's run for something, yeah. So
So it might be Kelly out of Arizona. So if they don't
yeah,
pick the Jewish guy, that might be the guy. But it'll be interesting to see who she picks. I heard Whitmer has taken her name out of the race.
oh yeah, she took it out. She took it out like over a week
Yeah,
ago.
she
Yeah, she said no.
probably doesn't want to be on the losing
Well,
side. And you know
she
what?
is a governor and she wants to stay a governor.
Yeah, and maybe it might be the same thing for Polis. However, say Polis is the pick, and they lose. He's still governor of Colorado for 2 more
Yep.
years. So,
Yeah, personally, I think
but
they should
it
change that.
hurts his chance if he decides to run in 28.
Yeah,
So,
Chip Roy. Yeah,
Chip Roy, yeah,
that's another name I've heard tossed about.
uh
You know, Tulsi Gabbard. Boy, wouldn't that be a stab in the back
huh. Oh boy,
if she took it? If she
no,
took it.
no, she won't take it.
No,
She
no,
They
does
won't
not.
offer it to her either.
no, they won't. Yeah.
She's the one that's been really going after Harris.
Oh, I know, I know. I just thought, you know, uh,
So
I know. It's the perfect choice for her.
right, but
No, no, no. I'm talking about. I know who it's going to be now.
oh,
Bernie.
Bernie, okay. But have you noticed the commonality of all of those that are on the list? And
Oh
what
yeah.
is that, Lloyd?
Oh, have I noticed what all of them have in common? No. What?
They're all white.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
And
Yeah.
they're men.
And they're men. Yes.
Yep. hmm
Yeah.
So, no, it won't be Michelle Obama. She doesn't want to, be in politics. And
Methinks she
unless,
doth protest too much.
yeah. So it'll
Guys, they're
be,
making way too much money being producers for Netflix.
right.
Yeah.
Yep. And being the handlers of Biden Harris right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah. Because
they're the ones running the whole show right now.
they are now because you
Oh,
know
they
he.
have been
Well,
from the
yeah, they've been manipulating it in the background for sure, but
yeah
Biden had his own team.
team.
Well, Harris has fired all of his team now and brought in her own, and they're all Obamites.
Oh, okay.
They're all
Well,
people from the
the
Obama.
thing is that
Harris and Clooney, yeah,
Obama, he's the first president not to leave Washington. He
that's
still
true.
kept the residence in Washington,
Yeah,
D.C.
yeah, yeah,
So all the other presidents, when their term was up, they all left Washington, D.C.
yeah. I,
Obama didn't. So that's how I think they're the ones running the show right now.
I told you I watched this White House press dinner, right?
Right?
And it was from 2015 when Obama was president, and he was talking about there's somebody out there, one of the producers of a show, and he was talking about the show, and it was that show called Blackish.
Yes, I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
Okay, he said, I love your show. He says, but I'm going to tell you, I don't know how long it's going to last. He says, for somebody who is blackish, that doesn't last so long. You're not going to get a lot of miles out of it. I know I haven't. I thought, okay, that was almost funny.
Right. Almost. Almost.
Well, Biden he's great with the teleprompter. He's a great orator. I won't ever take that away from him. I think, but without a teleprompter, No, not as bad as Joe, and he's not as bad as Kamala, but he
Mhm.
was a great orator, and he was a
Oh
great
yeah.
manipulator. But
Yep.
uh, I still don't trust him as far as I can throw him, and I have no. I, I think he set race relations back about 70 years.
Yes. Yes,
You
he
know,
has.
because a lot of people I know that that were white that voted for him just because they thought, hey, this is momentous. It looks like, and they thought that he would be, he would, being black and white, he would give a balance there. But instead, he played the race card within the first 3 weeks he
Oh
was
yeah.
in office and didn't
Yep.
quit playing it until,
Mm-hmm.
till he got out, and he's still playing it. And
Yep.
it's sad because he could have
Yep.
actually done something, but he didn't. He, you
Right.
know, played the
Mm-hmm.
race card.
Yep. And Bush Jr. he paints now. Yep, that's right.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, 43. Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to watch that convention because, you know, technically those delegates are Joe's. They all, supported him.
There's,
Uh,
yeah. I haven't
so,
heard as much I haven't heard as much this week as I was hearing last week about that she does not have the delegates sewn up, but uh, but they're talking about, maybe her, you know, they might wait, because I think they've only got until the 5th, which is
hmm
tomorrow. I think tomorrow's
Yep.
the last day they can get their name on certain ballots, like Ohio, and I think they're not even going to be on Ohio
Uh,
ballot because they know they can't win it. So what's the point?
uh, I just wanted to point out something to Joey. Uh, when I voted for the only reason I voted for McCain was because of Sarah Palin. Because I was really considering voting, third party like the libertarians
Right?
thing. Because I hated McCain because
Yeah.
the McCains and the Bushes, they were going at it. And I didn't like the way, McCain was always placating. Well, I'll reach across the aisle. No, I don't
Well,
want you to reach
well,
across the aisle.
and they're in, as I was talking about, they're part of that what they call a second wave conservatism or
Yeah,
freedom conservatism, and
right.
they'll reach across. And Romney is another one. Both of
Yeah,
those, and
yeah.
even H.W.
Romney,
Bush, because
yeah, right.
you know,
And I didn't care for Romney because he kind of, went left on us when he became senator and he
yeah,
was a never Trumper. And I'm like going, I'm done with that guy. And he finally
yeah,
decided not to run another term in
yeah,
Utah.
yeah,
But
and
good.
the never Trumpers are the established Republicans that are from post Cold War, you know. And
Yeah,
right now, one of the things brought out in this article, they're talking about we are having what's called a cold civil war in the Republican Party, and
right.
that's or in the country in general. That's what their problem is with Trump is he's a populist. They don't believe in the populist movement. They don't believe that the people of the country should actually, their supporters, the freedom conservatives are predominantly big business and really uh, aren't too worried about middle, the average man. They really could care less, and that's where Reagan and Trump are. Even though Reagan was part of the Americanism conservatives,
Right. Hmm.
because he was his was in essence a populist movement, and that's
Right.
why they hated him because they wanted George H.W. That's why the convention, that first convention in '68, that's why it created so many problems. Not 68,
76. 70.
76. He ran in '68 too, but I was thinking, yeah, '76. That's why, there was that kind of heated debate and everything, and they even talked about bringing in, maybe a co-presidency with both Gerald Ford and as vice president, and or was that in '72? Hell, I can't remember. I've got them all mixed up now. But I just know from that article I read that those that were the big business supporters, the Romney type people, they're all about and now the Bushes,
Yep,
unfortunately,
the Bushes.
and Romney's,
They're
Nikki
part
Haley.
of the swamp, you
Yeah,
know,
they really
and
are.
Trump was trying to drain the swamp, and you know what? We had more prosperity under Trump, and we didn't have any wars going on.
Right.
We actually had the Abraham Accords that would have had Arab nations recognizing Israel for a
Yeah,
change.
yeah. We would have finally had Saudi Arabia sewed up in that, you
Hmm.
know. And as soon as you know this
Yeah.
idiot gets in, that the old
Well,
fart
and
got in
this
office.
is where I think the coronavirus was a plan, part of the
Oh yeah,
Chinese and part of the Democrats to bring down Trump. They wanted to see if Trump would actually close down the country, and he got some really bad advice. Did that because we were at an area we've never had anything like that.
right. It was all
We
new. Yeah, it was a complete new
And
situation.
looking back on it, it was really bad for the economy. It screwed up the supply of goods, and it really screwed things up.
Yeah.
And so I think, and Trump came off looking
Greg, I agree with you.
uncaring, and that's what killed him in the election. And
Oh yeah,
plus, the shenanigans going on with the votes, because each state was changing the way they voted because they
right, right.
wanted to do
Yeah,
more
that
mail-in voting and stuff like that.
you could say you can be a vote. What do they call that? An
Election
election
tonight,
denier.
yeah,
But in reality, I mean, a lot of what you look at, and there's there's a grain of truth, whether you believe in it or not, that the
mhm,
election was stolen, but not because of too many ballots or anything like that. It was how the states kept changing their election rules.
right,
That's
Well, it's
where,
everything all together.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
mhm,
yeah, it was all of that, and and I think that was where again, and the whole advice on the COVID and all that. Yeah,
mhm,
it got he should have been elected.
yep. And
And
I predict that when Trump gets elected, there's oh my God, there's another strain of COVID coming out, and it's even more virulent.
I
And
must be
oh
locking up.
boy, and you know what else is going to happen? These blue states with these Democrat governors are going to purposely tank their own state's economy to drag down the rest of the economy and blame it on Trump. And that's what they did the last time. Because what did California do after he got his tax bill passed? They raised taxes because they wanted to negate any gains that the companies were getting from the tax cuts. And so it's like, yeah, I don't put it past any of these blue states with the Democrat governors and legislatures. They'll purposely try to tank their own economy to, really
My
screw up.
internet's acting up, guys.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, and it's about that time anyway. So I want to thank everybody in the chat for coming. You all have a great week. Next Saturday will be the inauguration of Artco Drones and Entertainment Channel. So we'll see you then. Have a great week. God bless. Good night.
Good night, folks.